Hello, I am Endlessness and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and in this video I'd like to give a guide for Eligor Solo Crash 2. Eligor hits incredibly hard with his lightning attacks, and he also keeps debuffing your lightning resistance, so I guess that's where Matt's newest weapon is really useful, to nullify those debuffs and keep buffing them. But for a longer battle I also suspect it might be required. However, if you have a strong physical ice DPS, you can just bypass it because the boss doesn't really have a lot of HP, so you can just melt him. And the DPS requirement isn't high either, it's definitely much lower than Light Spirit Crash, so Tifa, Vincent and Cloud all are more than strong enough, and of course Sephiroth, since he is now the strongest ice DPS in the game. But Tifa and Cloud have Reprieve, so it will make it a lot safer for you. But it's really just about surviving the opening, and if you want to, you could just use Reprieve to survive it, so you don't even need a HP weapon. But there are so many options for this battle. You could have Aerith healing, lowering ice resistance and buffing ice damage, or Matt because he can buff physical attack instead, and Angie and Barret are both great tanks, and you could also use Sid or Lucia if you want to speedrun. So really there are many options depending on what you have available on your account. But I went with Matt, Cloud and Angiel, and I kept Angiel because I used him in the original Crash and he still works. The main difference between Angiel and Barret is that Barret can buff both physical and magic defense, and also if you have his banner ultimate weapon he can give you a physical and magic resistance buff for one attack for a very short period of time, but with Barret he is more defensive and Angiel can debuff physical defense of the boss and add, so he is a little bit more offensive. Matt has Reprieve outfit with Vanquishing X, Dual Players for heals and buffs, Nolus to lower ice resistance, Esuna Darkness and Silence just in case, and single target Cura to keep Angiel alive. And then in sub-equipment slots Matt has all 3 guild weapons, 2 with physical defense and 1 with magic defense for allies. Angiel has Reprieve outfit with Icy Judgment, Gargantuan Molotov for provoke and MDef buffs, Greatsword to debuff physical defense, Esuna Darkness and Silence are just in case if Angiel's provoke fails, but ideally you shouldn't need to, and that means you also need to get rid of the ghost as quickly as possible. Barrier for Angiel, and this is needed for his survival if you don't want to lose Reprieve too quickly. And then in sub-equipment slots Angiel has 2 guild weapons with magic defense for allies, and they both have lightning resistance on them, and Odin Sword with attack for allies, and it has physical defense for Angiel. Cloud has AC outfit with Shiva, Stream Saber for DPS, Fusion Sword for attack self buffs, ultimate doesn't really matter, 3 Ice Bouncy Materia, and in sub-equipment slots Matt Minute with HP and one of the Ice Bouncy weapons with 62 physical attack, and the DPS requirement isn't high, so I removed 1 other weapon slots, but you can just give him another 62p attack weapon, or if you have Tifa then you can use other sub-weapons. Alright, the opening is quite fast, so apply Exploit Weakness, buff magic defense at least once. If you use Matt you could give him guild weapon with AEB boost, so he can use it twice if you want, it's not required, but with your tank you need to provoke before this attack hits, because afterwards he instantly finds a target. And here we have the gauge, so we have to deplete it, but I also recommend try to take your time. Because after this Eligor will be stunned, but very shortly, so you can just take your time. It will be hard to keep Angiel alive and for him not to lose Reprieve. But that's why I have the Breach Materia and his ultimate weapon. But also the reason why you don't want to deplete the gauge too fast is because it gives you a little bit more time to recover and use more AB, because after Eligor gets back, he summons those phantoms and you want to get rid of them as quickly as possible. Alright, one more attack, so reapply exploit weakness, but with Angio just make sure that you keep provoke on, because otherwise those ghosts, they can shut down your whole team very quickly with those, because they are the ones casting silence and darkness, so that's why you want to get rid of them as quickly as possible. And also, you can survive this attack with Angio without losing reprieve. You'll just need to keep buffing magic defense to survive it, but his most important role was to provoke for this attack and survive long enough for Icy Judgment. Because now, with all those buffs, your DPS can just melt the boss. And just in case, if you need more time, Matt can nullify attack buffs, because Eligor will now in a few seconds buff his physical and magic attack +5, and then he will... Actually, yeah, here it is. Well, actually, I killed him in this very second, but he will start charging in AoE magic attack, and with all those attack buffs, he would kill you. But if you have reprieve with Cloud and your healer, then, or Tifa, it's perfectly fine. But after you kill those phantoms, he might summon them again, but ideally you just want to maul the boss in this time frame. But really he doesn't have a lot of HP, so you should be fine. It's not Blade Spirit Crash. But yeah, that will be all. It is a little bit stressful, but at least it is a fast battle. But yeah, that will be all, so good luck on your own clear, and I hope you found my guide helpful. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next one.